Hello, mummies. Hello, aunties. Hello, daddies. You're welcome to Smoky class. I remain Fanny Matt, and I'm gonna be teaching you how to make this beautiful smoky top. This measurement I'll be using in this video can be used from age 6 months to about 5 years. If you want yours longer, you can increase the length. You can make it as a top and you can also make it as a dress. That means you have to increase the length of the dress. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Welcome to today's tutorial. We are making a smoky top. It's actually called the sharing top, but in Nigeria, most people call it the smoking top. So I'll be making two smoky top with this fabric. The kids are making this for their under 1 year to make two smoky tops for two adorables. So this is the thread I'll be working with, and this is my two smoky thread. Okay, this one is a leftover smoky thread from a previous job, so I'll be using this one first before unraveling this other one. Okay, this smoky thread comes in different colors. This is another color. Okay, you can decide to buy the color that goes with your fabric. Okay, but this is what I have and this is what I'll be using. Okay, I prefer to use the white for this pink than to use the black for the pink. So let's get right into the tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is to cut out your fabric. Okay, so to cut out your fabric, you need to get the chest measurement. So the chest measurement I'm working with is 22. So you need to cut out double the size. Okay, so you multiply that by 2 and then you cut your fabric out. So that's what I'll be doing for this fabric. My fabric, it is placed on fold, and this fabric is the chest measurement times 2. The chest measurement times 2. And this smoky top is going to have like a rope on the upper part. Okay, so the length I have here, you have to determine the length you want for your smoky top. So I have 13 inches here for my top, for the top length. Note that smoky usually reduces your top length, so you need to add a little to your allowance. Okay, so I'm going to go to the sewing machine now, and I will sew this part down a little on both sides. I will sew this part as well down on both sides. So once I'm done doing that, I will go over to I'm going to reel my smoky thread into my rubbing. So when you are reeling your smoky thread, please make sure you don't stretch your thread. Just pass it gently round like so. Do not stretch your thread. Once you are done sewing on both sides, the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to turn some settings on the sewing machine. We are going to remove the bobbin that has the thread, and we are going to replace it with the one with the smoking thread. And we insert that into the sewing machine. So once you are done doing that, you are going to turn the settings of your machine to the highest. Okay, on my machine is number 5. So if you are using a manual machine, just put it on the highest, the part that usually gathers your fabric. So you have to turn on the machine. And on the upper part of your machine, you are going to put your matching color thread. Okay, your matching color thread, you put it on the upper part, and now you start to sew. So what you're going to do, we are going to be sewing on the right side of our fabric. So this is the right side of my fabric. So the right side will be facing you. So you place it like so, and then you start to sew. So when you start sewing, you notice small small gathers. It might not look like it from the onset, but you just continue to sew, and as time goes on, everything will take shape. So as I'm sewing, you can notice small gathers, and I'll be sewing on 1/4 inch spacing. Do not do more than 1/4 inch spacing, or sorry, do not do more than 1/2 inch spacing, but 1/4 inch spacing is usually beautiful, but it takes time. Okay, so smoking outfit, you need to be patient with yourself. This is not something you want to do in a hurry. Okay, so as you are sewing, once you get to the end, there's no point back stitching, and there's no point cutting off your thread. All you need to do is just to flip the fabric, and then you continue to sew. So now that I've gotten to the end of my fabric, I'm just going to flip it like so, and I will continue to sew. You can see the gathers is taking shape already. My smoky thread got finished, so I've reeled another one. So I'm just going to continue from here where it stopped. Okay, I will just back stitch and I will continue. So I've reeled another smoky thread. You can see I've reeled another one. So I'll just back stitch and I will continue. So when sewing this project, you need to sew on the right side. So it's that simple. You can cut off your excess thread, and you just flip it over and continue. So I'm doing 1/4 inch spacing. You can do 1/2 inch spacing. It depends on what you want. Okay, but I feel that this quarter of an inch spacing is more beautiful. anything more than one anything more than half an inch spacing will be too much and your outfit will not look fine. So it's best you work with quarter of an inch spacing or half of an inch spacing. But personally, I feel that the quarter of an inch spacing is more beautiful than the half of an inch. Okay? So one thing about this project is the smoky thread gets finished easily. So you need to keep refilling your bobbin. So you need to refill and continue your project as you go. So this is where I decide to stop about 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches. So I'm going to cut off the excess thread. So once I'm done cutting off the excess thread, the next thing that I'm going to do, I'll just change it because I don't need the elastic part anymore. I'm going to insert this one in so that I can close the ends of my dress. To sew this down, right side facing each other. I'm just going to sew it down. You can sew by quarter of an inch. So don't forget to remove your so you can pin. So you can trim out a little from it, but make sure you are not ripping your seam. See the person that decides to sew with me today. He said, "Mommy, I want to sew with you." So don't rip your seam. You can see what this looks like. So this is the right side. So now I'm going to flip it over to the wrong side so that we can top stitch this down. So we want the inside to look clean and we want the outside to look clean as well. So this is my joining part. Okay, so I'm just going to flip it like so, and I will sew down half of an inch, so that way I'm sure that the seam is hidden inside. It is a struggle. Look who decided to sew with mama. So this is my strip. It's 2.5 yards each. So it's about 21.25 inches long, and it's 2.5 inches wide. Okay, 2.5 inches wide. You can see 2.5 inches wide. So what I'm going to do with this, if you have enough fabric, you can make yours wider than this, but I don't have enough fabric, so this is what I'll be using. I'm going to take it and I'll fold it into two like so, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, okay, because I don't want it to be too tiny. So I'm going to sew 1/4 inch. I'll do the same thing for all the pieces. So I'm done sewing 1/4 inch, as you can see. So with my needle, with my safety pin, I'm just going to take this and I'll turn it inside out. So I'm done turning all my four pieces, as you can see. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a good press. And the way I'll be pressing this at the middle. Okay, you want your seam line to be at the middle, not on the side. Press it like so to be at the middle. So I'm done. You can see how it looks. So I want to attach my belt. Don't forget that you need to close the end of your belt, then you leave one part open. Okay, this part is open while this other part is closed. So I want to attach this now. So I'm going to fold this into two like so, and I will mark the center with my chalk on both sides. Okay, so I'll mark the center. So you can see my chalk is a bit faint, but you can see the chalk mark. So I'll mark 1.5 on both sides. I'll mark 1.5 on both sides, and that's where I'll be attaching my band. So you can do 2 inches, it depends. Even the 1.5, you can see it stretches. So you can do 2 inches depending on the age or how fat the child is. So now to attach my belt, just look at what I'll be doing closely. So I'll just fold, see this is the right side, okay, of my belt, and this is the wrong side. So the wrong side should face down, okay, should face down, while the right side will face you. So you want to tilt this edge up a little like so, and then you will place it. You will place it down and you pin it. Use your pin to hold it down. Okay, so I'm going to sew this down like so. I'll top stitch it down and then I'll fold it up like so. And I'll now sew it down again to conceal the edge. So I'm going to do the same thing for all the 4 threads. Sorry, I'm going to do the same thing for all the 4 rope that I have. I'll pin down. And I'll come back and show you. So you can see I have top stitched it down. You can see I didn't sew close to the edge. I went down a little by like half of an inch, and then I top stitch quarter of the belt. Okay, quarter of the belt I top stitch it. So now I'm going to raise it up like so to cover the rough edge that I have here. I'll raise it up like so, and I'll sew it down like half of an inch. So I'll do the same thing for all the four bands. So you can see I'm done. You can see how the belt, how the inside of the belt looks like. And I went ahead to attach my label to the back. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tie this like so, tie it like a bow.